In my short tutorials on Pandoc template partials for LaTeX. In this video, I'm going to cover the basic logic that you have available to you in your template partials. Basically, you have if statements, for loops, and include other templates. I'm mainly going to talk about if statements and include other templates. The next video will cover for loops. So if statements. So here's the syntax. It's the $ bracket if, and then what happens if it's true, and then these $ bracketing end if. So that's your fencing. Now within the if statement, what appears here within the parentheses is a metadata value variable. So and you can test either this variable exists or it's true false. So for example, if subtitle is asking, does the subtitle exist? Meaning, was it passed in? If yes, it's true. If no, it's false. Alternatively, you could have metadata variables that you've explicitly set to true or false. And it'll test that also. Those are your only options. You don't get to test something like, does this variable equal a certain value? You can't do that. Just exist or true false. So let's see an example of this. So right here, so this is if. So if the subtitle was passed in, we're going to add this part right here into our text. The curly brackets is not some special syntax. That is exactly what's going to appear in the LaTeX. So what we're going to see in the LaTeX, if subtitle was passed in, was this. And then we've got this $ subtitle, so that's special. What's doing here is if you have it like this, it puts the value of that metadata variable in. So it's going to put the value of the subtitle. So basically, we're going to have a large italic subtitle input into our text. Okay, the next thing is the for loops. Just very briefly here, I'll go over in more detail in the next video, but basic syntax is for a list, and then what happens as you go through each part of the for loop. Then you have your sep, which is what goes between the elements of the for loop, and then end for. So for example, if you had in your YAML a list specified like this is an example of a list, and you had this in your template partial right here. So it's going to go through each element in this list, 1, 2, 3, and it's going to output this right here. So it's going to have these curly brackets here, and then it's going to have the value of that list. It's separated by space and space. Let's see an example. So this right here, this code right here, that would put this exactly like this into our text file. So it would be, this curly bracket / large curly bracket, and then 1, because it's got the 1 up here, and then 2, etc. There are two common ways to have lists in your YAML. I showed you this one with the square brackets. The second one is this format. Both of these are lists. The last logic that we have available to us in Pandoc template partials are include. We can include another file, and the include syntax is like this. It's the name of the file, and then the round parentheses there. That's it, and it will just insert the whole contents of the file there. Now, I have written it here as including a template partial. I mean, you can include any file there. It just includes the file. The underscore here is a common thing to do just to make sure that you don't accidentally use one of Pandoc's reserved names for its template partials. So like title.tech might be something you might use, but that's a reserved name. You need to make sure that any include files that you have are listed among the template partials, because otherwise Pandoc won't know about them. Okay, so that's it. That's what you have available to you. You have if statements, for loops, and include other templates.